School and our distinguished international delegates, we extend our most respectful and heartfelt welcome to you, Honorable Chief Minister, Sir. May I request ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries, children to kindly be seated. Patriotism, said Rabindranath Tagore, is not merely sentiment. It is the expression of one's noblest responsibility. I now invite the students of Gomti Nagar Extension Campus to present the soulful rendition of Vande Mataram. It's the national song of India. May I kindly request everyone to please rise again for the national song. I request the students to kindly ensure that there is no noise. Over to you, the students of Gomti Nagar Extension Campus. May I request everyone to kindly be seated. Thank you, children, for such a graceful and inspiring presentation. Your voices reflected unity, discipline, and deep national pride. May I request the team backstage to kindly open the curtains. I now invite Vera Kazmi, student alumna, CMS, Rajajipuram Campus 1, to introduce the first item of the day.
Respected dignitaries and honorable delegates, a very good morning to one and all. City Montessori School, Rajajipuram Campus 1 feels deeply honored to present the Model United Nations at the 26th International Conference of Chief Justices, a platform where youthful voices rise with clarity, courage, and conviction, echoing the global call for justice and peace. This year's agenda focuses on two pressing concerns of our times: safeguarding the sanctity of international law amid global divisions and advancing climate accountability, countering greenwashing. Let this conference be a reminder that through compassion and collective will, we can forge bonds that no discord can break.
Honorable Justices, distinguished delegates, and esteemed members of this Council, I, the Secretary General of this Assembly, speak today to address significant concerns that are shaping grave challenges of our times. Delegates, today we stand at a roundabout where values that form the very foundation of society are being heavily disregarded. So the question is, should we allow vested interests to erode our ideals, or should we, in unison, reaffirm our commitment to a world where rule of law prevails? With the powers vested in me as the Secretary General of this model United Nations, I, Shubh Lohia, declare this conference open. Now, I would like to request my co-chair, Ms. Adityanath, to lay down the modalities for this conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed delegates, now as the forum is already established and the roll call has been taken, let us begin with the proceedings of the day. With the discretion of the chair, the GSL is established. Delegates who wish to speak in this GSL may raise their placards. Delegate of Tuvalu, followed by Delegate of Sweden, Delegate of Trinidad and Tobago, Delegate of Japan, and the Delegate of India. Delegate of Tuvalu, you may have the floor.
A mother holds her child close as seawater seeps through the floor of their home. Outside, the ocean rises inch by inch, stealing the earth beneath her feet. The delegate of Tuvalu is pained to present this picture to you. And believe me, a country and island nation of just 26 square kilometers is drowning. Over 3,000 Tuvaluans have applied for new visa pathways to Australia, not because they want to leave, but because they must. Delegates, Tuvalu is sinking, and so will others if the world continues to watch us in silence.
We cannot wait for speeches when the sea is rising around us all the time. Let us act today to save our tomorrow.
We have received a request from the United Nations Environment Director. You may have the floor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we stand here today in the General Assembly Hall, the very birthplace of the Sustainable Development Goals. And these goals embody a promise for making life better for people around the world and save the climate too. With this vision, last year, a member nation announced a National Climate Action Plan, which introduced a $250 billion investment for startups coming up with green technologies. I truly believe that the industries are evolving. They are investing in solar energy and are moving towards zero waste. Sustainability is not a PR stunt anymore. It is survival, delegates. Businesses know that if planet doesn't thrive, neither will profit. The change is real and it is happening. Thank you.
With due respect, Representative, I refuse to be swayed by the illusion that industries are adapting. Well, what they're actually conveniently doing is greenwashing. You claim that industries are investing in clean energy. Well then, Representative, let me tell you, they are not investing in clean energy, but rather in cleaner images, ladies and gentlemen. The UNFCCC, Agenda 21, the Paris Agreement, the Rio Declaration, all remain non-binding, delegates. All of them remain non-binding. Sweden demands accountability, enforce promises, verify emissions, and condemn climate profiteers as criminals. Don't celebrate them as heroes. Thank you.
Delegates, we've received a request. We have with us the Prime Minister of Grenada. May I request you, sir, to address this gathering.
Honorable delegates, in 2024, Grenada faced one of the most devastating storms in our history. hurricane peril. But hurricanes, floods, droughts, and rising seas are only a part of the challenges we face. These are not isolated disasters, delegates. These are a symptom of a global climate crisis, one that demands accountability and not apathy. Grenada therefore stands resolute in firm support of Sweden, urging this assembly to move beyond the passive acknowledgement and toward real progressive action. Grenada has rebuilt, but rebuilding should not be a recurring destiny. And to the world I say, we are not asking for mercy. In fact, we are not asking for sympathy. We are asking for partnership and strong binding commitments. Thank you.
Would His Excellency like to entertain any questions from the press?
Yes, I will.
Sir, indeed, Grenada has shown remarkable strength after Hurricane Beryl. Could His Excellency please enlighten which support systems or community actions were instrumental in restoring the pace of life?
Thank you for raising that point. We do want to share our strategies. Grenada focused on rapid infrastructure repair and providing essential services to all. We built over 1,200 homes and reopened every single school within just 2 months.
Thank you, sir.
Esteemed delegates, on 9th of October 2023, we, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, awoke to find that the digital heart of our nation had been ripped apart by a ruthless ransomware group. Ransom AXX does not belong to any country, hence is a non-state actor. Yet, can you believe that the word non-state actor is not even mentioned in the UN Charter? Not even once. Therefore, no laws against them. Delegates, a keyboard can destroy a nation just as surely as a bomb. Cybercrime is nonetheless a crime. But our laws, such as Article 2, Clause 4 of the UN Charter, were written for missiles, not malware. They must be revised so that no one mistakes the UN Charter for just ink on paper. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, Ukraine invaded, Gaza bombed, Sudan silenced. Every date marks not just a tragedy, but a failure of international law, of accountability, and of justice itself. The rule of law too often is played like a chess piece, moved for advantage, sacrificed when inconvenient. This must end. Japan is the largest financial contributor to the International Criminal Court. It stands firm in declaring, respecting international law is not optional, it is the solution. In the end, let us not wait to act until small nations fall. Let us defend the law while we still can. Because when law dies, justice follows, and when justice falls silent, humanity itself is lost. Thank you.
Yes, the representative of European Union.
The representative of the European Union would like to propose a motion for an open floor debate for the next 5 minutes.
With the discretion of the chair, the open floor has been granted for the total time limit of 2 minutes.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the Russian Federation sits here today wielding a veto, occupying a permanent seat on the UN Security Council, a seat it was never democratically granted.
Let me remind this assembly that the Russian Federation became one of the permanent members of the Security Council. There was no objection from any other member. And now suddenly after 34 years, Russia is considered a threat to the world? Doesn't make sense.
Delegate, it very well does make sense. The Russian Federation is an illegal beneficiary of a Soviet membership which was transferred without consent. And yet, Moscow dares to speak of rule of law. In 2014, Russia annexed Crimea for its own selfish motives and also held a referendum which was repealed by the UNGA, We stand firm, not merely in defense of our democracies, but in defense of rule of law itself, for which you seem to have no regard at all. The European Union will not mince words. We stand here. The Russian Federation stands here to thank you.
Once again, we hear lectures on peace from those who have waged endless wars across the whole world. Those who bombed Yugoslavia, Iraq, Libya, now question Russia's legitimacy. We did not inherit any UN seat. We earned it through our victory over fascism and also Crimea, as you mentioned, Delegate. In 2014, more than 90% of the Crimeans chose to rejoin Russia through the democratic referendum. Under Article 51 of the UN Charter, we acted in self-defense, a right every sovereign nation holds. So I ask you all once again, is trying to protect your own country's sovereignty really a crime? Because in the end, Russia is of the Russians. We will continue to protect our land, continue to protect our history, and continue to protect our sovereignty. Thank you.
Delegates, the time for open floor debate has elapsed. Now we revert back to GSL. Delegate of India, you may have the floor.
Honorable Chair and distinguished delegates, India rises today not to inflame, but to restore the frame of the debate. We have heard accusations and counter-accusations today, and as world's largest democracy and one of its fastest growing economies, we promote growth without aggression, advancement without abandonment of our values. Our message to the world is loud and clear. Arbitration, dialogue, and coexistence. For these are the true instruments of peace we seek today. I now yield my time to my co-delegate, who will close in the oldest living language of our civilization.
भारतः न कस्यचित् विरोधं करोति, भारतः धर्मस्य समर्थनं करोति. यथा रामः युद्धमध्येऽपि मर्यादां न त्याक्तवान्, तथा एव भारतः संघर्षे अपि संयमं न परित्यजति. हमारे लिए शांति कोई विराम नहीं है, वह न्याय का प्रकाट्य है. प्राकृत की पुनीत वाणी भी मुखरित है, एवं लोकशः हितमुखेति. The welfare of humanity must always be our aim. India has always had a world vision from time immemorial. I quote from Upanishads dating back to 800 BCE. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet. The essence of this shloka is let the upliftment of humanity be eternal purpose guiding our actions. Namaskara.
We have received a request from CMS alumna. Yes, ma'am, you may address this assembly now.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, and respected dignitaries. As a proud alumna of City Montessori School, I stand before you today with both pride and pain. Pride for belonging to an institution that taught me the values of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and pain because the world today so often forgets that we are part of one family. CMS shaped us with the values of truth, love, peace, non-violence, and unity. Yet, in global leadership, these values sometimes fade behind power and self-interest. So delegates, I ask you, if we lose our humanity today, then what future will remain for all of us? I stand before you as a dreamer shaped by values. A student who believes that no border, no policy, and no ambition should ever overshadow our shared humanity. Nations may rise and fall, but a conscience-driven human heart can uplift the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen,
we are deeply privileged to have amongst us the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Shri Yogi Adityanath ji, a visionary leader whose commitment to education, cultural harmony, and holistic development has uplifted the life of countless young citizens. Respected sir, your presence here today fills us with pride and profound significance. Today, we take this opportunity to unveil the Dr. Jagdish Gandhi Globe, a symbol of the vision, the moral clarity, and the courage of the founder-convener of the International Conference of the Chief Justices of the World and the founder of City Montessori School, our beloved Dr. Jagdish Gandhi, ladies and gentlemen. It echoes the awestruck words of CMS alumnus, whom you may very well know, astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla, sir. From the International Space Station in June 2025, and I quote, "It seems that no border exists. We all are a part of humanity, and the entire earth is our one home."
Vardhan, you'll notice something deeply intentional in this globe. There are no country names. Instead, there stand values, universal virtues that transcend geopolitical demarcations. He believed that both individuals and institutions, including nations and global governance structures, must be guided not by power, but by virtues such as empathy, diversity, truthfulness, humility, trustworthiness, care for the environment, and detachment from consumerism.
Yes, Nikhil, very well spoke. I completely agree. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not mere lofty ideals. These are practical anchors, which were embodied consistently by Dr. Jagdish Gandhi throughout his life. He often quoted, "Be generous in prosperity and thankful in adversity. Be worthy of the trust of thy neighbor and ensure that you look at them in a bright and friendly face." And truly, ladies and gentlemen, if there is one message that the students of this conference want to convey, it is this: that let the member nations look upon their neighboring nations in a bright and friendly manner and be worthy of the trust of them.
This globe carries Dr. Gandhi's immortal presence as a cherished friend to many among you and is a tangible symbol of his message that the destiny of nations is intertwined and that peace is not merely possible. It is our moral obligation and a promise that we will continue the work he began with the understanding that the well-being of mankind, its peace and security are unattainable until and unless unity is firmly established. A promise that we will strive for one world, one people.
Beautifully put, Farah. With this, I request our respected founder director, Dr. Bharti Gandhi, and manager, Professor Geeta Gandhi Kington, to kindly accompany and lead Shri Yogi Adityanath ji on the stage for the inauguration of the Dr. Jagdish Gandhi Globe, ladies and gentlemen. Please give it up.
I also request Honorable Mr. Mesic, former President of Croatia, Honorable Dr. Mrs. Silly, former Prime Minister of Lesotho, Honorable Mr. Bagman, Sitting Speaker of Parliament of Ghana, and Honorable Mr. Frederick, Sitting Speaker of the House of Representatives of Antigua and Barbuda.
সবই বৃথা আমায় ছাড়া
May I request all students to kindly be seated? Thank you, dear.
May I request everyone to take their seats? The link for the draft resolution is shared with all of you. Distinguished delegates, the world needs true change makers, and you are the two. Let this be a commitment to action, compassion, and courage. With the powers vested in me as the Secretary General of this model United Nations, I, Shubh Lohia, declare this conference closed.
That was indeed powerful. Thank you, dear students from Rajajipuram Campus 1, for this meaningful ceremony. May the virtues inspire each one of us to work for a peaceful planet. Every great mission begins with a visionary. CMS is blessed with such leadership. Professor Geeta Gandhi Kingdon ma'am, manager of City Montessori School and convener of the conference. I warmly invite respected manager ma'am to warmly welcome the chief guest and also for her address.
Friends, we very warmly welcome Yogi Adityanath ji, the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, India's largest state. If it were a country, Uttar Pradesh would be the 5th largest country in the world on account of the size of its population. Yogi Adityanath's political journey started at university, where he did an MSc in mathematics. This is also where he started working as an active member of the National Students' Organization, the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad. Yogi Adityanath embraced renunciation or sannyas in his early 20s, relinquishing worldly attachments to lead the life of a monk. Based on his services to the people of Gorakhpur districts of Uttar Pradesh, he was selected as a member of parliament at the age of 28 and was re-elected from that constituency for 5 consecutive terms. In 2017, he assumed the position of Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh and has become its longest-serving Chief Minister. As an ascetic politician who believes in corruption-free, efficient and accountable government, Yogi Adityanath forges a deep connection with the people. He is ambitious about and deeply committed to the rapid progress of Uttar Pradesh. The period of his chief ministership has been linked with greater ease of doing business, higher commitments to health, education and infrastructure, and greatly enhanced inward investment. It is an absolute honor for this conference to welcome a visionary leader like Yogi Adityanath as the chief guest at this 26th International Conference of Chief Justices of the World. Friends, I would like to take this opportunity to state the objectives of this conference. Humanity is at a crossroads. It faces grievous problems: existential climate change, insecurity and entrenched conflicts, the specter of global pandemics, and powerful technology that is developing at breakneck speed, but which is largely ungoverned by law and by adequate ethical frameworks. International institutions struggle to contain these problems. While the UN has done much in the field of humanitarian assistance and social development, it has been unable to maintain peace and security as seen by the ongoing illegal major wars. In the field of climate change, it is clear that the slow-moving COP process cannot deliver change at the exponential pace and scale that is needed, that is essential in fact, in order to address, have a safe climate landing for humanity. At this year's COP30, The biggest emitter countries' leaders were absent. There's a persistent deadlock on climate finance, and there are weak emissions pledges. And of course, there are also doubts whether ambitious announcements will translate into real action. Our existing global governance structure is far short of what is needed to address the current problems and for building a bright future for humanity. Even the UN's own Act for the Future last year recognized that, and I quote, "Today, our multilateral system constructed in the aftermath of the Second World War 80 years ago is under unprecedented strain," unquote. A major lacuna is the UN's outdated structure, especially the Security Council's veto power and the lack of representation for many regions. A second problem is the UN's chronic underfunding, with reliance on major donors. Institutional inertia also creates inefficiency. Another problem is the rise of mini-lateral groups such as the BRICS and G20, etc., which sometimes felt divert attention from the UN's central role. But we have to have hope for our children. Children are the common present concern and the future hope of all peoples and nations. It is our intergenerational responsibility to bequeath to them a brighter and safer future. You might ask, why India? What does India have to offer? The father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, had said, "A day will come when the world will approach India in its quest for peace, and India will become the light of the world." As my father said in his talk at this very conference in this very hall in November 2022, India has two important things to offer this troubled world about its governance. Firstly, the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam from the ancient Indian holy scriptures. This means that the whole earth is one family, meaning thereby that all who dwell on earth are our brothers and sisters. When India chaired the G20 meetings, the motto chosen was "One Earth, One Family, One Future." This motto is drawn straight from the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam concept. If the world could draw inspiration from this rather spiritual approach to the relations of nations with each other, it would be likely to lead to more multilateralism and more collaboration. The second thing that India has to offer the world is the fairly unique provision in the Constitution of India about how the Indian state shall conduct its international relations with other nations. Article 51 of the Indian Constitution promises that the state shall endeavor to promote international peace and security, maintain just and honorable relations between nations, foster respect for international law, and encourage the settlement of international disputes through arbitration. These promised endeavors are indeed guiding lights for the conduct of nations. Peoples and nations long for peace, and there is a growing awareness of the need for effective global governance to bring peace. For building an effective global governance architecture that has relevance, legitimacy, and the trust of the nations, it is essential to review the United Nations Charter, which was made 80 years ago and has not changed, even though the needs of the world have changed. There is a momentum building for a review of the UN Charter, despite the reluctance of some historically privileged nations who may want to preserve the status quo. The Pact for the Future last year agreed at the UN Week in September 24, in its Section 5 on governance says, quote, "We must renew trust in global institutions by making them more representative of and responsive to today's world." Last year, a major document was published by the Global Governance Forum titled "A Second United Nations Charter, Modernizing the United Nations for a New Generation," which proposes a major modernization of the United Nations to reflect 21st century realities. This document suggests deleting outdated text, strengthening human rights, and embedding environmental protection. It adds a World Parliamentary Assembly for democratic legitimacy. It also proposes a standing United Nations Peace Force, a reformed ECOSOC, and it gives the ICJ, the International Court of Justice, more compulsory jurisdiction. Finally, it suggests innovative UN financing and regular charter review in order to keep the system dynamic rather than ossified in time. Dr. Augusto Lopez Claros, President of the Global Governance Forum, is present here at this conference, as are some other co-authors of this document. This year, on the sidelines of the United Nations Week, a new movement was formed called Article 109 Coalition, which aims to gather momentum for convening a UN Charter Review Conference by 2030. India, Brazil, and South Africa have also declared their support for Charter Review. This conference that we're at in the next 2.5 days will hear more about and debate the proposals for the review of the UN Charter, which will include specific suggestions on the UN and on its structure. Friends, at the end, I would just like to say that youth can move the world. And the 16-year-old Greta Thunberg and her Fridays for Future appeal attracted huge support among the youth globally. And as such, she did much to highlight climate change and to put it on the national and global political agendas. Discussions about the future of the international order must involve the generality of humankind, including the youth, rather than being left to the world leadership, political leadership alone. Broad participation will raise awareness of world citizenship and increase support for an international order. I would like to end by expressing again our profound gratitude for the presence here of Honorable Yogi Adityanath ji, our popular Chief Minister of the great state of Uttar Pradesh. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, respected ma'am, for illuminating the path ahead. Your vision strengthens the foundation of this conference. We now move to another powerful manifestation of our shared vision, the unity of the world. Our founder-manager, Dr. Jagdish Gandhi sir, often reminded us that peace is not possible without unity. That peace is the very prerequisite, and such भी है, जहाँ एकता होती है, वहीं वास्तविक शक्ति और विजय संभव होती है. In every culture across the world, prayer has always been the language of hope. प्रार्थना एक शक्ति की उम्मीद है, एक किरण है. A force that transcends geography, race and ideology, binding humanity in one shared aspiration. I now welcome the students of City Montessori School, Kanpur Road campus to offer the World Unity Prayer.
Look around us. The smoke is not a campfire. It's the anger that burns all our quiet places down. The air itself trembles, asking, when will you all listen?
They call it strife, but we call it rebel. They fight over tiny lines on maps no one sees. Each border drawn in dust fades faster than the cries it caused.
They chose fire instead of mercy. What is the price when the whole house burns? We walk in soil soaked with loss. But even ash remembers rain, and rain remembers hope. We need a covenant sworn to earth. Let every nation hold it sacred as the breath that keeps us alive.
We need wisdom from every shore. Let each voice answer so the silence never wins again.
Let the continents speak, for their voices are our own. Listen to the voices of the world. Let their hopes rise together, shaping the dawn that begins today.
Between oceans wide and plains unending, my voice still seeks not behind it, he showed me that progress without equality is only another chain. Governance to me is freedom made accountable.
That same dream sat on Rosa Parks, who taught movement through stillness. Her silence became my lesson, that change begins not in noise, but in resolve. Together we keep her promise, step by step towards the light. We pray for North America, may unity prevail on earth.
Where jungles breathe and mountains touch the cloud, I have learned that beauty and hardship often share the same soil. Believer dreamed of a freedom wide enough for every heart. From his vision, I took the truth that leadership is service, not rule. My spirit endures to the rhythm of hope.
That rhythm, still in Menchu, who gave voice to those who were never heard. Her truth binds the wounds of my forgotten villages. In her defiance, I see my future, just, compassionate, and free. We pray for South America. May unity prevail on earth.
Where the sea and the sky meet without an end. My story moves with a tide. Sumare led with calm conviction, teaching me that freedom begins in belonging. His voice still drifts across the islands, reminding me that leadership is stewardship. I must guide what the ocean entrusts to me.
That promise deepened through Cooper, who marched for dignity step by step. Her courage became the thread that bound my islands together. Now, from every shore, one song rises, steady, bright, unbroken. We pray for Oceania, may unity prevail on earth.
From the bells of cathedrals to the hum of new ideas, I have walked through centuries of triumph and regret. Monet dreamed that peace could be built, not demanded, a promise woven from cooperation, not conquest. Through his vision, I began to understand that unity is not born of victory, but of trust rebuilt. My strength is no longer in empire, but in empathy.
That empathy found light in Curie, who turned discovery into healing. Her pursuit of knowledge taught me that wisdom must serve, not dominate. From ashes and inventions, I rise again, humbler, wiser, whole. We pray for Europe. May unity prevail on earth.
From the golden savannas to the patient Nile, my story begins in resilience. I have known chains and fire, yet I still rise to forgive. Mandela taught me that freedom is born from patience, not revenge. Through struggle and song, I have learned the rhythm of endurance.
From that endurance grew the courage of Mathai, who planted hope as trees. Her roots reminded me that true healing begins in the soil and the soul alike. Now, when I breathe for every child yet to come. We pray for Africa, may unity prevail on earth.
Across the mountains that touch the sky and oceans that cradle dawn, I hold the weight of wisdom and time. Confucius once whispered, harmony begins within the heart, and I have carried that truth through every empire and storm. I have seen kingdoms rise, fall, and find their way back to compassion. Governance to me is not the power, but the art of listening.
That same listening shaped Teresa, whose mercy turned pain into prayer. Her kindness reminded me that peace is not declared, it is lived. My children walk a path now, turning faith into quiet courage. We pray for Asia, may unity prevail on earth.
From deserts to oceans, from high peaks to deep rivers, the nations of the world stand together in one accord. We cannot look away from the flames. Justice demands that conflicts must cease. The earth itself is crying out for mercy. Climate change is not tomorrow's storm. It is today's truth. The Charter remains our compass, steady through the chaos of division. We must govern wisely, shield the weak, and guard this earth for every child to come. This is our shared covenant, born to protect all life. I pray for the world, may unity prevail on earth. May unity prevail on earth.
I'm not one land, but the whole earth's face. Not one person, but the human race. Not one dream, but 1,000 more, woven together from shore to shore. I'm the covenant, sworn to the just, the vow unbroken, the guardianship trust. Children are my heralds, born of dawn and change. They hold tomorrow in hands
and scarred and bright. We pray for the world. May unity prevail on earth. May unity prevail on earth. May unity prevail on earth.
Thank you, dear students, for the serene and divine invocation. Leadership today demands courage, clarity and compassion. Qualities Honorable Shri Yogi Adityanath ji has exemplified while guiding Uttar Pradesh towards progress and stability. मैं माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी से निवेदन करती हूं कि वो मंच पर पधारें और अपने शुभ वचनों से हमारा मार्गदर्शन करें. I humbly request the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh to kindly address the August gathering. May we have a huge round of applause for sir.
International Conference of Chief Justices of the World कि आज के इस उद्घाटन समारोह में उपस्थित फॉर्मर प्रेसिडेंट क्रोएशिया ऑनरेबल स्टेट ऑन मैसेज, former Prime Minister Lesotho, Honorable Dr. Pakilitha P. Messelini, आज के इस समारोह में उपस्थित दुनिया भर से आए यहाँ पर उपस्थित मुख्य न्यायाधीशगण, उप मुख्य न्यायाधीशगण, न्यायाधीशगण और प्रेजेंट एंड फॉर्मर राष्ट्र प्रमुखगण, सीएमएस के संस्थापक निदेशक डॉक्टर भारती गांधी जी, सिटी मॉन्टेसरी स्कूल के अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर रॉजर किंगडन, सीएमएस के प्रबंधक प्रोफेसर गीता गांधी किंगडन और यहां पर उपस्थित सभी माननीय अतिथिगण, मैं सबसे पहले इस प्रतिष्ठित सम्मेलन में उपस्थित आप सभी अतिथियों का देश की आबादी के सबसे बड़े राज्य उत्तर प्रदेश की राजधानी में आगमन पर उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार और उत्तर प्रदेश के नागरिकों की ओर से हृदय से मैं स्वागत करता हूं, आप सबका अभिनंदन करता हूं। वसुधैव कुटुंबकम यानी whole world is one family has been basic philosophy of India for thousands of years. यानी भारत हजारों वर्षों से पूरी दुनिया को एक परिवार के रूप में मानता रहा है। यह भारत की न केवल एक भावना रही है, बल्कि दुनिया का कोई मत, मजहब या संप्रदाय नहीं जिसे उसके संकट के समय में भारत ने शरण दी हो, भारत ने उसे आगे बढ़ने और उसके संरक्षण में अपना योगदान न दिया हो। आज के इस अवसर पर जब हम दुनिया भर से जुड़े हुए न्यायविदों के सम्मेलन के उद्घाटन सत्र में यहां पर उपस्थित हुए हैं, इस अवसर पर सीएमएस लखनऊ के संस्थापक डॉक्टर जगदीश गांधी जी की स्मृतियों को नमन करता हूं, उन्हें विनम्र श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं, जिन्होंने ग्लोबल यूनिटी, पीस एंड जस्टिस के लिए इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑफ चीफ जस्टिसेस का पिछले एक लंबे समय से इस कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ यहां पर किया और एक दूसरे को समझने और उसके माध्यम से एक नया संदेश देने का प्रयास किया था। हमें इस बारे में यह बात कभी विस्मृत नहीं करनी चाहिए कि दुनिया की वास्तव में समस्या क्या है, और कहीं ना कहीं हम जब इसकी तह में जाते हैं तो हमें लगता है कि डायलॉग एक दूसरे के बीच में नहीं है, या किन्हीं कारणों से स्वयं के वर्चस्व को स्थापित करने के लिए डायलॉग को बाधित किया गया। यह कॉन्फ्रेंस अपने आप में डायलॉग का एक माध्यम है, दुनिया के न्यायविदों के माध्यम से दुनिया की मानवता के लिए, उन लोगों के लिए जिन लोगों ने अपना स्वयं का वर्चस्व स्थापित करने के लिए दुनिया में अशांति और अराजकता का सा वातावरण पैदा करने का प्रयास किया है। आज जब हम सीएमएस के इस प्रतिष्ठित प्रांगण में इस मुद्दे पर विचार करने के लिए एकत्र हुए हैं, हमें यूएन की उस घोषणा को भी स्मरण करना होगा जो उन्होंने सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स के बारे में दुनिया के राष्ट्रों से आह्वान किया था। सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स शिक्षा को लेके, स्वास्थ्य, दुनिया के अंदर कृषि और जल संसाधन के मुद्दे को लेकर, एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड स्किल डेवलपमेंट के साथ साथ पर्यावरण और वन संपदा की रक्षा करने के जिन 16 गोल्स को लेकर के यूएन ने दुनिया के देशों के सामने एक लक्ष्य रखा था, याद करना, उसमें शिक्षा, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है। दुनिया के अंदर जब हम शिक्षा की बात करते हैं तो उन 2.5 अरब बच्चों के लिए, यानी 250 करोड़ से अधिक बच्चों के लिए क्वालिटी एजुकेशन के साथ साथ वे अपने बस्ते के बोझ से स्वयं ही डिप्रेस न हो, इसके बारे में भी हमें विचार करना चाहिए। क्योंकि महत्वपूर्ण भाव ये कि शिक्षा किसी भी व्यवस्था का, व्यक्ति हो, समाज हो या राष्ट्र हो, डायलॉग की स्थापना मैन टू मैन, सोसाइटी टू सोसाइटी, कंट्री टू कंट्री, यह स्थापित तभी हो सकती है जब हम उसके बेसिक भाव पर विचार करें। ये बेसिक भाव एजुकेशन के माध्यम से हम प्रत्येक बच्चे के मन में, प्रत्येक छात्र छात्रा के मन में पैदा कर सकते हैं। लेकिन आज भी यह एक चुनौती बनी हुई है। दुनिया में जहां अशांति है, जहां पे अराजकता है, जहां वर्चस्व को लेकर के एक दूसरे की संप्रभुता को हड़पने की होड़ हो, वहां पर एजुकेशन, वहां पर हेल्थ, वहां पे सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट की बात अपने आप में एक बेमानी सी दिखती है। और उन स्थितियों में हम सबको इस बारे में विचार करना चाहिए कि कैसे इन समस्याओं के समाधान के लिए हर एक स्तर पर प्रयास किए जाने की आवश्यकता है। हम भी उसमें सहभागी बन सकते हैं। अगर एक संस्था अपने स्तर पर पिछले 25 वर्षों से इस प्रयास को आगे बढ़ाने का प्रयास कर रही है, तो क्यों नहीं अन्य स्तर पर यह प्रयास आगे बढ़ सकता। और मुझे लगता है कि यह एक चुनौती दुनिया के सामने जहां बन चुकी है, हम इस बात को देखते हैं कि एक और हमारे सामने दुनिया के अंदर की प्रतिस्पर्धा एक चुनौती के रूप में है। वही हमारे सामने जलवायु परिवर्तन और उससे उत्पन्न होने वाले संकट भी एक नई चुनौती के रूप में है। याद करना, हमारे सामने इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी जीवन को सहज और सरल करने में जहां उपयोगी भूमिका का निर्वहन कर रहे हैं, वहीं इसके द्वारा उत्पन्न वे अभूतपूर्व कानूनी चुनौतियां भी हम सबके सामने खड़ी हुई हैं, जिनके माध्यम से साइबर क्राइम, डेटा चोरी के और अन्य तमाम प्रकार की एक नई समस्या दुनिया के सामने खड़ी हुई है। ऐसे अस्थिर समय में न्याय, नैतिकता और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कानून विश्व शांति और मानव सभ्यता के लिए एक बड़ी लकीर खींचने में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका का निर्वहन कर सकती हैं। हम सबको यूएन के द्वारा 80 वर्ष पहले जिन बातों को उन्होंने घोषणा की थी, उस पर एक बार फिर से विचार करना चाहिए, जो उन्होंने उस समय की दुनिया के बारे में कहा था कि दुनिया को अब एक अधिक न्यायपूर्ण, समावेशी और जवाबदेह वैश्विक प्रणाली की आवश्यकता है। और 80 वर्ष पूर्व किए गई इस घोषणा की सार्थकता आज भी उसी रूप में बनी हुई है। आज हमारी आवश्यकता है कि हम केवल उन पुरानी बातों तक सीमित न रहें, बल्कि आज की उन ज्वलंत समस्याओं के बारे में भी हमें विचार करते हुए जलवायु परिवर्तन, साइबर सुरक्षा, स्वास्थ्य के संकट, वैश्विक आतंकवाद जैसे मुद्दों पर भी मुखर होकर के यूएन जैसे प्लेटफॉर्म का बेहतर उपयोग करना चाहिए। एक ऐसे व्यवहारिक और उद्देश्यप्रद गठबंधन को जो और भी प्रभावी हो सके, इसे आगे बढ़ाने की आवश्यकता है। इसके बारे में हमें भारत की उस प्राचीन व्यवस्था पर विचार जरूर करना चाहिए, जहां पर हमने इस पूरी व्यवस्था को 5 अवयव पर आधारित मान करके पृथ्वी, जल, तेज, वायु और आकाश, इन सब की उपासना को इसका आधार मान करके भारत की परंपरा ने सदैव इसे अपने जीवन का हिस्सा मान करके इनकी पवित्रता को, इनकी सुरक्षा को और इनके संरक्षण को सदैव प्राथमिकता दी। और दुनिया के लिए वर्तमान में जलवायु परिवर्तन की चुनौती हो या फिर इसके माध्यम से उत्पन्न उन वैश्विक संकट के समाधान का रास्ता, भारत की उस सोच के माध्यम से समाधान का एक रास्ता निकाल सकती है। हमने इस युग की सबसे बड़ी महामारी कोविड महामारी को दुनिया ने झेला है। याद रखना, एक पुरानी कहावत है कि अगर कोई व्यक्ति कहीं पे आग लगी हो और उससे अपने को निश्चिंत पाता है, तो अगर आज दूसरे के घर में आग लगी है और आप उससे स्वयं उत्साहपूर्ण तरीके से और उमंगपूर्ण तरीके से निश्चिंत होकर के सो रहे हैं, तो मान करके चलिए कि कल वह आपको भी अपने आगोश में ले सकती है। दुनिया आज जिस चुनौती से जूझ रही है, चाहे वह जलवायु परिवर्तन का हो, साइबर सिक्योरिटी का हो या फिर आतंकवाद का हो, अगर कोई भी देश या कोई भी समाज इन सभी मुद्दों से आंखें बंद करके दुनिया की मानवता के सामने संकट खड़ा कर रहा है, तो मान करके चले कि यह संकट उसको भी एक दिन अवश्य निगलने का कार्य करेगा, जो आज दूसरों के लिए संकट खड़ा कर रहा है। कोविड जैसी महामारी ने इसके सामने, हमारे सामने उन बातों का उल्लेख किया है कि आज की कोई भी समस्या केवल एक देश की समस्या नहीं, ये दुनिया की समस्या होती है और दुनिया को ही मिलकर के इसके समाधान का मार्ग भी निकालना पड़ेगा। दुनिया को इसका समाधान का मार्ग निकले, दुनिया भर के न्यायविद जब इस इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के माध्यम से यहां पर एकत्र हुए हैं, तो न्याय मानवता की समस्या का समाधान का रास्ता कैसे निकाल सकता है, यह इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के माध्यम से एक संदेश दुनिया भर में देने की आवश्यकता है। न्याय न केवल समता का, बल्कि प्रत्येक नागरिक की सुरक्षा का, उनके स्वावलंबन का और उनके उन्नत भविष्य का आधार बनना चाहिए। इस विश्वास के साथ मैं इस इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस की सफलता के लिए आप सभी के प्रति अपनी शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। दुनिया भर से आए हुए जितने भी हमारे पूर्व राष्ट्राध्यक्षगण हैं, न्यायविद हैं और अन्य हमारे सम्मानित अतिथिगण हैं, मैं उन सब का एक बार फिर से इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में हृदय से स्वागत करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं और विश्वास करता हूं कि यह सम्मेलन जो भी यहां पे आप लोग प्रस्ताव पारित करें उसे यूएन तक पहुंचाने और यूएन के माध्यम से दुनिया भर में हम ऐसी कौन सी पद्धति अपनाएं जो शांति का, करुणा का, मैत्री का और यानी अगर कहें तो भारतीय संस्कृति के अनुरूप वसुधैव कुटुंबकम के इस भाव को फिर से पूरी दुनिया में मूर्त रूप से प्रस्तुत करने में सफल हो, इस विश्वास के साथ इस पूरी कॉन्फ्रेंस के प्रति मैं अपनी मंगल में शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Thank you, Honorable Yogi Adityanath ji, for your kind presence today. We are deeply honored and humbled by your address and blessings. Dear audience, let's give them a huge round of applause. We are now presenting a token of appreciation to the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. It is being presented by the Founder Director of City Montessori School.
जो जन्मजात नेता होते जन जन पर शासन करते हैं, जनता उनके शुभ चरणों में श्रद्धा के फूल चढ़ाती है, कांटों पर खुद चलती है, पलकों पर उन्हें उठाती है। ऐसे हैं हमारे परम आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी और हम उन्हें पलकों पर बिठाते हैं। आप स्वीकार करें